Hey, what's up, guys? It's Moon Daddy here. Here to show you what to expect when you get your Moon Daddy bag grow kit. Now, I discontinued the all-in-one pre-inoculated grow bags, and the reason why I did that is because they just don't function as well. They're a lot slower. You don't get as much. Sometimes you do. But in general, there's a lot more problems, and we could get into that maybe another time, the reasons why, but the all-in-ones just don't work as well. And at first I thought it was a good idea because I feel like a lot of people just don't even want to deal with any sort of work. But now that we are doing pre-inoculated stuff, I figured that a bag grow kit would be a lot better. Not only are you guys going to be able to get a lot more out of it a lot faster, you're going to be able to learn a little bit about the process. So with that said, let's get started. Now guys, with your grow kit, you're going to get a 3B unicorn bag. The reason why we use a 3B unicorn bag versus the normal bags that you would colonize your grain in, the ones that you inoculate into, is the filter patch. And they're also just a lot more durable. The plastic's just a better polypropylene. You can really beat them up if you wanted to without worrying about them ripping, and they're quite a bit more expensive. You're also going to get some clips that are going to have it clip closed when you get it. That's going to keep the 2.5 pounds of sterilized substrate that's in the bag. It's going to keep it clean. And you're also going to get a bag of pre-inoculated grain spawn. You're going to want to make sure before you do this process, the step where you're mixing it and actually making your grow kit, you're going to want to make sure that it's solid white. Now you can tell this thing's hard as a rock. It's consolidated. There's a few spots that you can see the grain poking through, but that's just because I've been touching it. It's definitely ready to go. Now the difference between the filter patches is this one has a 5 micron filter patch, and what that allows is for gas exchange. 5 microns is large enough to let certain microbes through. It's not easy. They don't just pass through. But it also allows that gas exchange to happen so that everything that's going on in the bag can be a lot more healthier and thrive. And everything's going to happen faster, and you're going to get a lot more that way. Versus the 0.3 micron bag that you colonized your grain in, where nothing is getting through. Now, I'm sure you've heard it before, but the first step is going to be to get clean. You're going to want to take a shower, and you're going to want to have some rubber gloves, as well as either rubbing alcohol or hydrogen peroxide. Either one's going to work. If you have a flow hood, work in front of your flow hood. If you have a still air box, get it into a still air box to make your kit, to spawn your kit. If you don't have any of those, I want you to go into the bathroom and clean your bathroom squeaky clean. You want to be in a space where there's no airflow. You want to turn off the AC or the heater, or cover the vents if you have to. And I want it squeaky clean, and then I want you to turn the shower on full blast hot and let it fill the whole bathroom with steam, and that's going to collect any particles that are in the air. Once that steam settles, get to work, and get to work fast. Now, it's not crucial that you're as clean as I'm saying, as I'm stressing, but I don't know your guys' situation. Now, people like me who have been doing it a long time, we don't take any chances. We work in front of a flow hood, or if you can, a still air box, if you don't have a flow hood. But I don't know how clean you guys are. I mean, I know that I could do mine in open air and be just fine, but there's always that chance that something happens. So make sure you take a shower and you're working in a clean space and you're working quickly if you don't have access to either of those two things. so let's get started. Now that you're clean, you're going to take your hydrogen peroxide or your H2O2 or your rubbing alcohol, and you're going to clean the bag. You don't want to go too crazy. It's not that necessary, but you want to make sure the majority of everything is nice and clean, nice and wiped down. And you're also going to want to do that to your spawn bag, because you're going to open that and you're going to kind of pour it in, and you don't want anything, any trichoderma spores or anything that might be on the outside surviving and getting into the substrate bag. So there's 2.5 pounds of substrate that come in the unicorn bag, and 2.5 pounds of grain spawn with your choice of genetics. Now you're going to open it up after you cut the top of the spawn bag open. And you're going to break it up. You want all the kernels separated. You don't want any chunks, because you want it to colonize evenly. That's going to give you an even flush, and it's going to help it colonize faster so that there's no big gaps between the substrate and the spawn. You want it all spread out evenly. Now, you've got to be really thorough with this part. A lot of times you think that you mixed it up, but really you just mixed it up on the top of the bag. And you can see I'm digging down deep and mixing it up really well. Really being thorough here. Make sure you get down all the way to the bottom where you can feel it, and you're kind of sifting it up and down. You want those kernels of corn evenly distributed all throughout the bag. You want to be able to see that. Really scoop it up and do a good job. Make sure it's all broken up. Yeah, I'm getting close now. You can start to see that it's even. And don't rush this part. Make sure you do it thoroughly. Now that we got it all mixed up, this is the next step. Now, I might get hung on the cross for saying this. Some people in the myco community seem to have really strong opinions about things, and I'm telling you, been there, done that. You can pack down your substrate. Packing down your substrate is not going to make it colonize any less, any more, any slower, any faster, but you are going to get a lot of benefits from it, and that benefit is you're not going to get any side pins. And it's not, I'm not debating it. There's no need for a liner. You don't need to put your sub in loose. Squishing it down, see, I'm using all my muscle. I'm not afraid to really pack it from the inside to the outside, and you want it nice and even. You mixed in your grain nice and even. You're packing it down nice and even and tight. That's going to create that space between the bag and the sub to be one solid piece, so that there's no opportunity for anything to grow there. So now you see my cake is nice and flat. It's smooth on top. It's packed in tight. What you want to do is take your finger and rub all that extra substrate down back into the substrate. It's really easy if you use this technique just with your finger like that. If you don't, you're going to have issues where it's going to try to grow up the side of the bag, and it's going to put too much energy into that, and it's going to probably affect the amount that you get, and it's probably going to make it take longer. So make sure that it's nice and clean all the way down to the block. Okay? Now, the next step is you're going to want to take your gussets and make sure they're folded nice and even. Take your time, don't rush this part. This is really just going to help with uniformity, help keep your bag together. You're going to get the corners even and tight, and you're going to pinch them. You can see that the sub's bowing a little bit down there at the base, at the surface of it. So we'll smash that. I'll show you how to do that once we put the elastic on. But your grow kit is going to come with 2 quips. Now you're going to fold the top down about 2 or 3 times, 1 inch folds about, and you're going to quip that down, and that's going to keep any particles or dirty air from getting into there. This will work just fine. You're going to quip those down just like this. It's very important that you don't disturb your bag after this is done. Disturbing the bag will cause that separation between the sub and the wall of the bag, creating a microclimate. That's another thing. But I sent you guys an elastic band just in case. You're going to put it about 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch below the surface of the sub, and that's going to keep that bag on there tight. Now this isn't going to 100% stop anything from happening on the sides, but it is kind of a little shield. I don't use elastic bands because when I make mine, I gently pick it up from the bottom. I'm not giving it the opportunity to get disturbed and create any space there. And I set it somewhere and I leave it there. That's the whole point of this. Where it is where it needs to be at the whole time until you're done and you're ready to reap the rewards of all your hard work. And that, my friends, is the tutorial for the Moon Daddy bag grow kit. Don't forget to follow me on IG at moondaddy.myco.gardens. That's moondaddy.myco.gardens. I'm always posting cool stuff there. Sorry if it was a little bit confusing. It was kind of confusing for me too, because I had originally did this tutorial in real time, and there were a few words that I said that I wasn't allowed to post. So I went back and I'm just screen recording right now, and it was kind of weird, but I hope that it works out. If you guys have any questions, like I said, go ahead and email me from the website. Follow me on Instagram. Check me out. I've also got a YouTube channel that this will be posted to. So yeah, awesome. You guys have you made it this far. Sit back and relax. As long as you did everything that I told you to do, you're in good shape. So all right guys, much love.